Ebro in the morning. Laura Stiles, Rosenberg is on location at the Outlet. Where are you, sir?
I am in San Antonio, but tomorrow I'm off to Houston for the Super Bowl.
There you go. We will get Super Bowl coverage from Rosenberg, but in the studio right now, Kehlani.
Kehlani.
Yo, y'all not gonna clap for your girl, man? What's going on here, man? Yo, what's wrong with your team, bro?
They're a little tired.
Y'all been running around a lot.
Yeah, we have.
Like interview. What's the schedule like for you right now?
Go to the airport, get somewhere at like 3 a.m. and then wake up at 6 and then go to a radio station and then go to another radio station and go to another radio station.
You're forgetting the part when you drop an album and it's a worldwide smash.
Oh, that part.
And then you go to another radio station?
And then another one, yeah.
How long you been on promo tour right now? How many weeks is it going on? For this particular project, which just dropped, go pick it up, Sweet Sexy Savage. Some great music on here, and we'll get into my love of Kehlani's music in a minute, but how long you been on tour of this?
For like 2 weeks. So it hasn't been that long, but...
It's heating up.
Yeah, it's getting real.
And you're about to go on tour, so you're in voice rest mode, so you have to talk a lot, but you're not able to sing a lot right now. Like, what's going on with you vocally?
Oh, well, last night, my voice was completely gone. Like this is like just me being hoarse, but I'm lucky that when I woke up and like as I started like going throughout the morning that it was coming back. But last night it was hilarious, hilarious. Like I was opening my mouth and no sound was even physically coming out. Like,
that's scary. That's
and I was trying to answer questions on the fly, and they was like, "You want water?" And I was like,
Take a pen, write down your answers on paper, hand it back to him.
Yeah.
I want to get to some music. We've been supporting crazy on here. Your first album was Grammy nominated.
Mixtape.
Wait.
Mixtape.
That's just a mixtape.
Yeah.
Why?
Because it was a mixtape.
What's the rules for you? Because
you just call it a mixtape, bro, and then it's a mixtape.
That's it.
Well, it wasn't. I didn't go through the process like, oh my God, this is my debut album and like blah blah blah, and sit down with my label and plot things. It was just me, doing
it yourself. Got it.
Yeah. So it was definitely a mixtape.
How much for you is this process now with going to radio stations and getting more involved in the label and having all this people involved in your process because you built your following pretty much by yourself?
Yeah.
How hard is that transition?
My label is really cool. They really work with me. They really support me. They understand me as a person before the artist part, and they always kind of put the person I am before the artist part. So they don't really push me when I'm, feeling like I need a break or like I feel like things are too heavy.
They let you run your business and be in control.
Yeah, so they let me do my thing, and I like them for that. So
Kehlani said something interesting to me the other day that I think I could say publicly, which is that you're not really all about the fame. Like you love the music, but you told me you'd be like, as much as dope that you have a billboard in your hometown and all these things, like you'd really be okay just being a touring musician with your fans and not being sort of the superstar you've become. Yeah,
I don't really like that I'm headed there, and I don't think I want to be in that realm. I really just want to drop an album, go on tour, and then go home, and then drop an album, then go on tour, and then go home.
You can absolutely do that.
Yeah,
you
very
can.
Successful.
Because I think that's one of the reasons you left LA, right? Because you wanted something a little bit more normal. You came to New York, and now you live in a regular, like, I don't know.
Yeah, you can hide in New York. A lot
regular
of people
Brooklyn
don't know
I live in Brooklyn with my
or
cats and my friends. Yeah, it's nice.
It's beautiful. A lot of people think New York, like, it's a scene, but you can completely avoid the scene and chill.
Yeah, I feel like the scene is like a small thing in New York, and then everybody's so cool. Everywhere is like, you know what I'm saying? So,
well, it's definitely easier to disconnect than
Another
LA.
Bay Area person in New York.
Hey.
Yeah.
There you go. I didn't know necessarily how people would react. You're getting like, first of all, you got a huge story in the LA Times, New York Times, but you're also like, are you surprised by the level of reviews that you're getting for this album?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't really have expectations with anything in life anymore, so everything's kind of like super surprising and awesome. I'm just happy people are listening.
That's all you got. You're like, that's all I got, guys. Your backgrounds. I want, a lot of the style of singing and the backgrounds that this is all your own vote. You direct your own voice. You write your own records. You collaborate. What's your process?
Yeah, I wrote like 90% of this album. I got some help from Esther Dean on Wannabe.
She's amazing, right?
Super tight. Stars wrote on Wannabe. Charlie Heat helped on Undercover, the hook, super dope. But 90% of this album is me, and it was very spaced out. A lot of these songs are super old.
Wow, okay.
And I took a 3 or 4 month break from music and creative process, period. So I kind of had this big, weird gap of not really even being connected to my music for a while because I just didn't even understand any of it. And I had to reconnect myself and, re-fall in love with it. And I think that this album really helped me in general.
Listen, this is the first time I actually get to sit down and talk to Kehlani, and I was really interested because behind the scenes she has so many fans. But Ebro, I want to go way, way, way back to the very beginning from America's Got Talent.
Yeah.
And I want you to talk about your relationship with Nick Cannon, how much he helped you out, and that whole process. Because I think it's really important for your fans to you can take them back, or for people like me who don't really know your experience.
Yeah.
I want to hear it from you.
Well, I was in a band for 4 or 5 years. 6-part kid band. I was the only girl in art school. And we never made our own music. We were just a cover band. We did shows all over the Bay and back and forth to LA and then going to school and then going to LA and then driving back and going to class and still being in our nasty show clothes from the night before. But then we went on America's Got Talent and we ended up being season finalists after them trying to split us up on the first episode.
Wow.
And we obviously met Nick Cannon on the show, and then after a year after the band had split up and we all was going through a lot of personal problems, he called and had an opportunity for me, and he wanted me to come down and be a part of a rap group. And my entire family, who knows nothing about music, was pretty much like, this is your last opportunity in life. And I was like, I need to go do this ASAP. And we went down there super fast, and I don't think it was necessarily a bad rap group. I just think it was not the one for me. And I didn't fit into, his vision for it. And I think he has a lot of fun with what he does, and he's very supportive. And after leaving that rap group and going back and putting out my first solo song on SoundCloud, and I dropped 2 songs on SoundCloud, he called me and he was like, okay, I totally get what you're trying to do now. You're so not a rapper. I was like, yeah, definitely not a rapper. And I didn't have anywhere to live at the time. And I was just sleeping on people's couches.
Wait, so your family was like, look, you not doing this, you gotta go?
No, I left the crib at 14 for, various personal reasons, and was just kind of around after that. And, in high school and sleeping on homies' couches and, in studios and people's basements and shit like that.
Figuring it out.
Yeah, it happens to a lot of people. It's not that crazy. So, yeah, he was just like, you can't focus on music if you don't even know where you're gonna be able to take a shower, if you don't have groceries, or if you don't even have a bed, you know what I mean? It's so hard to wake up every day and focus on that when you don't even have that. And so he surprised me and got me my first apartment in LA. And I just remember I never had my own room before. I never had my own bed. There was groceries in the refrigerator. He decorated it. You know what I mean? It's so special. He's such a special person. He decorated it. You know what I mean? It was like a girl's apartment. It was so tight. So I don't know. He's always been by my side. Even throughout, the situation, he was very there for me. He was like, look, if you don't want to do none of this, we could go right now. You know what I'm saying? You want to stay in Hawaii and you want to just be at your grandma's house, you want to write songs, you want to come work on my movies, come on. Whatever I ever wanted to do, he's always held me down. So he's probably the biggest angel I have in my life ever.
That's dope.
Yeah,
dope.
He's amazing.
In the song, you say you go crazy. Now, what type of crazy we talking about? Keying up cars, slashing tires, busting out windows. Where we at on the spectrum?
Kehlani you've never had one of those lovesick moments where you bashed a window?
I don't get angry. I don't think I possess the emotion of angry. I think I get sad. I get my feelings hurt all the time. Yeah. So it's not it doesn't come back as aggression. I'm not an aggressive person. I'm oh my God. So it's one of those, yeah, but it's a Bay Area term. I go crazy, that should go crazy. You know what I mean? It's not even crazy, but just that's tight.
Do you feel this is a generic radio question. Do you feel like you're 1/3 parts of all of these, Sweet, Sexy, and Savage?
I think I'm all at the same time. I think I'm everything at the same time. I think all of us are everything at the same time, and that was just kind of the point I was trying to make. I feel like all the songs that are even supposed to fit in certain categories have aspects of both. You know what I mean? Like I have a song called Do You Dirty, which is supposedly very savage, but there's hints of like I'm sorry in it. You know what I mean? Which I think true savagery, you wouldn't even be apologetic. So
That's what I was going to say. I'm calling you out. I don't know. You might have a taste of savage, but
Yeah.
I definitely think
I'm extremely
in
sorry.
Are you guys telling me the title of this album is Alternative Facts right now?
It's alternative fact.
Definitely alternative. It's
She's mostly sweet and sexy.
interpretive facts.
Interpretive
Subjective facts is what we're going.
Subjective facts. Well done.
On your hand it says woke on one of your tats.
Oh, wait, talk about that,
So
Kehlani.
stupid.
You were early on the woke talk.
Yeah, I mean, I was a very Erykah Badu tribute. But also, I just thought I knew everything. You know what I mean? Like 2 years ago, I just thought I was just the smartest, deepest. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I know everything.
So
like,
woke right now.
yeah,
so
I mean,
aware.
I think a lot of us who actually are very in tune kind of have that point at some point where you're just like, dang, nobody understands, and I just
you
get
don't
it.
see what's
like,
really happening out
whoa,
here.
like no blindfold, like things like that. And then the world smacked some sense into me, and I had to learn everything that I thought I knew all over again in a different way. And so just having this I don't like self-proclaimed anything. You know what I mean? It's why nobody's ever going to catch me out here saying I'm the next anything or I'm this or I'm this. Like, so having this self-proclamation on my hand just feels so stupid. So I'm in the process of getting it removed.
Really?
And, yeah, I'm really excited about it.
Are you just
Are
gonna
you getting
cover it
more
up or
removed or
remove
just
it?
that?
I'm gonna get it removed first and then get a tattoo over it that actually, means a little bit more to me. But we all grow, and I think a lot of us who've had tats since we were young, have a couple regretful tats because we just got rambunctious and just went out and got one. So I have a bunch of
Do
those.
you have more than one, or is that the only one
I
you want
got
to
a bunch of
remove?
ratchet tats. I have like layers of cover-ups. I literally have layers of cover-ups that some are just not even ever gonna get finished, but I've accepted them and they just tell stories and they just remind me of, life every time I look at them, and they're already there, so fuck it.
Do you part of that learning I feel like was you obviously growing your business and your brand, selling merch, because you guys sell crazy merch. I don't think you get props for how much your fans buy your hoodies and
Though
buy
they
your
love
own
it.
shit, which is
Yeah.
amazing.
Thank you.
Your touring and your ability to sell tickets, right? Like that's something that artists wish they had, but you built that yourself using social media.
Yeah.
And then social media kind of blew up in your face. Would you ever have a public relationship again?
To be honest, those weren't decisions that, in either relationship we just said like, let's be public. It was just like, oh, we care so much and people are catching us anyways. You know what I mean? Like people are already starting to point us out at restaurants. They're already we can't even go to the movies. We can't hold hands in public. Like at 19, 20, like I want to be able to go to the movies with my boyfriend. Like,
course.
you know what I mean? Like I don't care what anybody says, no matter how famous or not. You want to do those cute things. You like that type of stuff. I'm sure everybody loves posting a cute picture of their boyfriend. You know what I mean? Things like that. We all want to do that. So those weren't like, oh my God, like let's formulate this like that's so ugly. You know what I mean? I don't think any like fans think so many
But I
things
kinda
are
think
publicity
that's
stunts.
my point is the fact that social media for you is just a part how you grew up, right?
Yeah.
Like you didn't look at
I'm
it
in the
as,
generation. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I've never been like, oh my God, let's finesse this and put this together to make more people look at me because I don't even like negative attention. You know what I mean? It actually literally gives me the most anxiety in the world. Like I'm still getting used to people saying they don't like me, but now I'm like, okay, cool. I'm not everyone's cup of tea.
That's right.
So never would I ever have a public relationship ever again, and just I don't have too many things public as of
Right now.
the past year. It's been almost a year. You know what I mean? It's been a long time since the negative situation even occurred. So I think I've been doing very well.
I would say your ab game is still public. The ab game.
Facts.
Ab game.
Always
not
gonna be
alternative.
public. Always, always.
Wait, so what's the workout regimen, or is it just right at this point in your life?
I just have an interesting body type that.
See, Kehlani. See, people
No,
like
seriously.
No, but Kehlani,
I
tell
literally
her
wanted
that
to know.
trick
My
you taught
doctor
me.
was like, "You have a quote unquote, I would think it's called a mesomorph body type." I could wake up really bloated one day with no cuts. I could wake up the next day extremely cut, looking like buffer than a dude. You know what I'm saying? And then the next day I could be really small and possibly have
But
like a
didn't-
waist
didn't you
shape
tell
and something
me-
that's just weird.
Didn't you tell me though that you used to like? I know it sounds
Yeah,
silly,
hold
but
my
like sit
stomach
in
in.
class,
Yeah.
and just flex.
Yeah, that too. When I was younger, basically I was in ballet class, and I have an umbilical hernia, which is like where your intestine pokes through a hole in your abdomen lining. So I have this kind of painful like
So you had
lump.
an Audi for a minute?
No, I still have it. It's just
Okay.
it sits
It's like a
above your
little
belly button. It's like a bump. It's like my little homie. Like sits above my belly button. In a lot of performance pictures, you can see this little thing just sitting above me. And I guess I'm gonna have to get surgery for it at some point because it hurts pretty bad. But my ballet teacher brought me in front of the class one day and was like, "Everybody sit on Kehlani lap and tell her what you want for Christmas since she want to have her stomach out." What? And I was like, "Oh my God!" And ever since that day, I just like started, because in ballet they tell you to hold your posture. So ever since that day, I was just like holding my stomach in and keeping my posture up, and I kind of got used to just like having my stomach clenched at all times. And I think I would just be sore all the time, but it just became natural. And I think low key that helped too. But I don't do like sit ups or I don't go to the gym.
So no workout regimen for
But
you.
I'm a touring artist, so I never tell like, young girls to like compare themselves to me, especially when I say I
'Cause you're
don't work
basically
out.
working out every day
Exactly.
for-
I'm a touring. I do rigorous rehearsals. I'm a touring artist. You
Yeah.
should never like think that I don't do anything and it just happens. Like, you know what I mean? So
Do you have to watch your alcohol intake, or I know you used to. I know you smoke, and then sometimes you don't, or you drink. I don't know if you drink. I don't know what you eat. Like, what's the whole thing?
besides how it was
Because I'm trying to get
affecting,
my abs up. I'm on the Kehlani ab.
besides
program.
how alcohol and smoking was affecting my body, it was also really getting in on my mental health. Just as far as having a hangover the next day after exuberating that much happiness, whatever, the night before, you can feel pretty depressed.
Yeah.
The next day, alcohol has a pretty big effect on depression and things like that. But I have not been drinking as far as regular alcohol. I've been pretty much only drinking wine, and I haven't smoked in a month. And
Just
I feel
clearing
pretty
it up.
awesome. My skin is like clear for the first time ever in my whole life, like ever. I've been feeling great. I don't know. It's awesome. I've been drunk as hell at my release parties, but those are release parties.
Gotta get it popping.
And celebrate every now and then.
But those are over, and now I'm just back to my wine. So
Is there anybody that you haven't worked with that you want to work with? Traditional radio question.
yeah, I think I really want to work with Nicki Minaj.
Is there a
She's so
relationship
tight.
there already?
I think our managers know each other. We've met each other at the studio once, and I just think she's so dope. And like, she's like the biggest power woman ever, and she's like so badass and out there. And I want to work with all the fun, dope girls: Ariana, Rihanna, Beyonce at some point in life. Everyone. I just think, why not? You know what I mean?
Let's go.
like that.
Kehlani's here. Sweet Sexy Savage. Rosenberg, you're on location. Anything before we get up out of here?
No, I'm very proud of Kehlani. This is super exciting. Like, to see this movement from the first time she came up a couple years ago and watch someone do it completely on their own and now be at the spot she's in. It's inspiring, man.
Thanks.
Has Lauryn Hill ever seen your tattoo?
No, but somebody that worked for her saw my tat and was like definitely tripping. But I've never met her before, but I'm definitely gonna show her.
You
if I
should.
meet
She's
her.
coming to Radio City like next month.
Yeah.
And if she ever listens to you, just tell her to slow the records down, because when she's performing live, it's mad fast now.
I
She
think-
does
I
these
think-
fast remixes or something.
I seen that, but I think it's because rules. I think she has to, but
For like publishing or something
I
like
think
that?
so.
Like
I
who
heard that
actually
too.
owns the
I
records?
can't. I don't know facts, but it's,
I heard that, but I wasn't
Alternative
sure.
facts again.
Alternative
yeah,
facts.
subjective.
Subjective
I
facts.
heard it on internet facts, so you never know. That's
Hashtag
always
internet
wrong.
facts.
Always wrong. So,
Kehlani, are you politically, like, did you vote this time around? Or you a
I
big
did
voter?
get to vote. Yeah,
Who'd you
we
vote?
we
Well.
obviously we voted for Hillary Clinton.
Okay, got it.
Definitely, you guys should definitely kick anybody out this room that voted otherwise. But
And also, Kehlani, you want to say anything about the Dakota pipeline? Because I know that issue's near and dear
Yeah.
to you also.
well, I'm Native American, Blackfoot Cherokee, and my sister is living on site right now. Healing the water warriors and taking care of them and stuff. And I'm sending her love and prayer every day because she's freezing and trying to make sure everyone's okay. But just to know that we just celebrated for it not happening, and to hear that it's going to be moving forward regardless. And not only is it disrespectful and completely disheartening and dehumanizing, Native American culture, and it's disrespectful to that, but people are going to die. You know what I mean? People need to wake up and talk about that factor. It's not.
That
It's,
people are literally going to give their
it's
lives.
big,
They're going to die
it's
for this.
bigger
Yeah.
than,
Yes.
but it's bigger than what's happening at the protest, the after effects, what's happening to the water supply. People are going to die. You know what I mean? Like, we're going to get sick.
Now, as the Army Corps of Engineers, because I know even though the executive order has been written from Donald Trump to proceed, and he obviously has investments in the companies, and many of the banks that all of us bank with, right, are financing this stuff, right? Like literally every major bank in this country is a part of giving loans to these businesses to create this pipeline. The Army Corps of Engineers still has to change their initial recommendation for not creating the pipeline for it to move forward. So there's still a few steps that have to happen that people, I think, are hopeful there'll be a block, but they might get forced into it anyway.
Yeah, it's really scary, but we definitely have to keep hope. I just know my sister's on side, and she calls me every day, and she's like, listen, like, we're kind of deciding, I think they're deciding right now if they're going to pin themselves to the ground or not, is what she told me, and just
literally make these people kill them if they want this to because I heard Native American people that I know that out there that are literally considering if this is the time for them to die or not. Like literally.
Yeah,
you're
because they know it's
going to
bigger.
have to kill me if you want this pipeline to proceed.
They know it's, we know it's bigger than a few of us. We know it's bigger than, just one thing. Like the pipeline goes through so many cities and it's going to affect so many kids and so many mothers and so just people, you know what I mean? Flint still doesn't have clean water, you know what I mean? And we're all just chilling, just half drinking water bottles and closing them and throwing them away, you know what I mean?
Newark, New Jersey, right?
Yeah.
Jersey City.
Fruitvale, Oakland, California, they just did a test in the water by Fruitvale, and it's apparently even, like the lead levels are even higher than Flint. But I don't think they'll let Oakland get that bad because we've got the Uber capital over there now and all the companies over there. And
what's that mean?
I just think people are biased, and they're not going to let it happen to certain people in that area. You know what I mean?
Well, that's the same in Flint. But if Fruitvale, which is a suburb, and unfortunately people who are poor, right, out there in Oakland, right, as the money spills over from San Francisco into the Bay Area now because San Francisco's overpriced and people are moving into Oakland, there's tax dollars there.
That's what I'm
Those
saying.
people that you're voting in the city council and your representatives, you can hold them accountable.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you got to move them out.
Yeah.
And not only that, the money is there.
Yeah.
The money's there.
Yeah, that's what I'm
right?
saying.
But the pipe, and we talk about it a lot on this show. I go on my tirades about it, but obviously the lead in the water leads to behavioral issues in children. Those behavioral issues lead to children being put in jail. So if we're not paying attention to these kids that have gotten poisoned by this lead over the next 10 years, those will be the next individuals that are pipelined straight out of high school, right? Once they turn 18, they can't get medication. They go straight to jail if they have behavioral problems. And
then it's just downhill from there.
And it's downhill from there.
Yo,
And we're
Ebro,
gonna-
my wife, I can't take credit, my wife's friend, I don't know who it was, posted a great tweet on Saturday. It was literally everyone who's come to this country at some point was a refugee. And the only people who are actually native to this land are having a pipeline put through their homes right now.
But that, that goes to the one thing we always talk about here, Rosenberg, which is the fact that this country attracted people from all corners of the globe under a guise that we've all at some point in our elders' lives or our lives have realized is a lie.
Yeah, been completely contradicted.
Right? And so that's part of the pain that we go through when you're at a certain point in your life when you think you know everything and then you realize, oh shit, this shit is a rig up. You got
Yeah.
And then you get to that point where you're like, okay, wait a minute. Am I going to stay here? Can I actually make it better? Do I believe in the promise of this country and the capabilities?
It's such a conflict because you don't know how you can help. You know what I mean? I think that's one of the things I struggle with as an artist is half the time people are like, keep speaking up. And then half the time they're like, shut up and just put your music out.
Well,
you know what I
say
mean?
fuck off to all the people who say, because they say that shit to me. I take
They
that
say it to
offense.
us too on our show because we touch
We have
real
to say
issues.
something. Too
Yeah.
many people are looking at us for us not to say anything. But it's just, I think being at 21, it's like I just want to do so much and I want to be so hands-on, but where do I start? You know what I
Education.
mean? There's so much going on.
Food and education.
There's so much going on at one time. And I feel like, especially right now, it's like a new crisis popping up every day. And it's like, you know what I mean? It's like one of those, like, you're giving hope in every single area. And it's like, dang, like, we really have to come together on so many different platforms and for so many different causes. But at the end, it all comes down to the same flat line of just, like, we have to be together and we have to stay outraged and we have to stay informed and we have to stay resilient and resistant and persistent. So...
Yeah.
If you're not up on it, she's got an album, a project, and a brand that she built all by herself. We salute you.
Thank you.
Keep being amazing.
Thanks.
Keep working hard. Don't be afraid out here.
I'm
all right?
trying.
Sweet, sexy, savage,
Savage.
man. Y'all give it up for Kehlani.
Thank you.